You guys didn't get a chance. Last night, it was Swinger Dog versus Kiwi Killer. That race was awesome. Oh, here we go. Uh-oh.
Oh, looks like they're starting now. Javeliin got a little bit late. Started a little bit late, but
They'll get it set up to where it's balanced. First off, you'll notice that there isn't any music. We're currently listening to Giz's stream, MrsGizamaluke, and you'll notice there's no music. It's because it causes a little bit of lag, and in this very fast category, it's good to not have that there. I haven't been able to bring myself to turning off the music yet, but maybe I will when I'm going for those really low times.
and if you're wondering if it's just this game, it's basically it's like present in all Nintendo 64 games. You'll see it in Mario Kart as well. Like in this game, like you know why they turn the music off in multiplayer? That's the reason.
Right, to lower that lag a little bit. Giz is getting that nice tunnel blue balloon into the zipper there. Man, that's actually a little bit tougher than it looks. It takes a lot of practice to hit that consistent.
Yeah, it is. It's something novice runners don't usually do.
And we have Javeliin and Giz about on the same track here, so this is actually decently close for these two runners. You'll notice that in Diddy Kong Racing, there's going to be 3 different cart types. There's going to be the actual car cart, and there's going to be the hovercraft and the plane. When those 2 other vehicles come into play, you'll start to see a little bit of a difference between these players, between the world record holder and someone that is working on getting there. So you'll see that there will be a difference in those vehicles. Oh, there's a bonk there by Giz.
Very unusual.
He's probably just like, man, let me just reset. Oh wait, I can't. It's a...
Yeah, he didn't even do any warm-ups beforehand.
Here we go. Giz has the shield. Oh, he decided not to use it. Got to be careful there because a lot of the opponents will go Super Saiyan. They'll use the shield and it glows and stuff. And if you run into them, you'll spin out.
Yeah, those CPUs will destroy you if you are not careful.
Javeliin's keeping up quite well, though. About 2 laps behind right here.
And just as we said, the CPUs can spin you out with their shield.
Yeah. On Giz's side, you'll see the first clip of this run. We clip through this spot in Hot Tall Volcano and kind of just fly through the middle. And Peegs, if you want to explain how the plane works for people.
Yeah. The plane is one of the most punishing vehicles in the game. Actually, it is. The barrel rolling, they are doing the barrel rolling and not holding the A button, as it's faster than holding the A button. That's basically the entire game. Don't hold the A button.
Yeah, you'll notice that when you go into a boost, there's green flames. And as a kid, you're like, oh, maybe I'm just getting purple flames. It's because they're taking off the accelerator and then hitting that boost.
And for the out of bounds, this game is checkpoint based. So when you see the arrows, that is an indicator for the checkpoints.
And it looked like Javeliin opted not to do the clip, or maybe they did and bounced out.
I did not see him do the clip at all.
We'll just have to watch the next time, yes. I'll pay more attention to that one in the next race. So here we see the first appearance of the hover car, and you'll notice that Giz is doing a thing where he is swaying from side to side, and this is what we call snaking. It helps to both increase speed and keep your acceleration and top speed up at the same time. It's more of a tempo thing rather than a just wag your stick back and forth. So he is, if you don't know how it works, you're just holding A and holding R. R will make little, like an air flow behind you. And it also helps you turn. So you always want to hold R and A when you're in the hover car. And then you just go work side to side at a nice tempo and you will go very fast. Another cool thing about the hover car is that bonking isn't as punishing if you hit on the side of your car. It almost doesn't slow you down hardly at all. So, and sometimes that bonk can help you go around corners.
You will see that a lot in Boulder Canyon.
Yeah.
Track that the first track in Dragon Forest, which will happen in the 2 trophies.
So we see Giz on Crescent Island here, and he's going to do this cool thing right about here before the ship where he holds back on the stick and it actually makes the car fly up a little bit. I didn't know anything about this until yesterday, and it's going to help me out a lot to know that on each vehicle you can press up or down. It's pretty obvious on the plane, and it will make your flight change. So the controls are inverted like an airplane, so when you hold back you'll go up, and when you hold forward you'll go down. Pretty cool.
The best example, the most obvious one, is in a track called Frosty Village, which is the final track in Snowflake Mountain, which is the next trophy.
See Giz finishing up Crescent Island here. This little turning between the pillar and the wall there is actually a pretty tough thing to do consistently.
It's if you hold down the A button early, it's very easier to hit.
Okay. I'll have to practice that as well. Right. So we see Giz, we see there's bananas on the course. And picking up 10 bananas as fast as possible is a goal that you'll see our runners do. You can have more than 10 bananas, but when you have 10 bananas, that is the max boost you will get from having those in your arsenal. Not quite sure what the percentage is of how much acceleration and how much speed each banana gives, but having 10 compared to having 0 is a drastic change in how fast.
By the time you reach 6, it's already. By the time you reach like 5 or 6 bananas, it's pretty noticeable and you could feel it.
Especially in the plane. Speaking of which, Giz in Everfrost Peak here.
The worst track in the game.
Yeah, true. For beginners, this is a tough track. Like Pigs was saying earlier, you want to not touch the A button at all, really. And if you do Everfrost Peak properly, you really just never touch the A button except to start at the beginning. It's really difficult, though, to do. You'll also notice that you can hit ground zippers while in the airplane. You just have to actually touch the ground. And it's kind of hard to hit those consistently when you first start out.
Yeah, especially the one in the cave. So, if you are a new runner, and I would recommend not going for it, as it will probably just make you lose speed if you are not consistent at landing it.
Right, I opt not to use it currently, but maybe one day. So it looks like Javeliin just did the Sherbet Island trophy and now gonna go right into Frosty Village.
Yeah.
About a single track difference, but still able to keep up with Giz is pretty nice.
This is around the time you were starting to see the difference between the two runners. As you saw how far ahead he was in hovercraft. Another thing, the reason why you go to the right on the loop is because it's actually faster. I have no idea why, it just is.
Just some reason.
It makes no sense, man.
It could be a weird coordinate-based increase of speed, like holding in the positive X direction just makes you go faster on the loop-de-loop for some reason. But it might be negative X on how the control stick of the 64 is configured. I'm not actually sure on that. Oh, we get a bonk on Javeliin. That was a brutal bonk on that little bridge thing. He cleared it and then bonked the back side of it.
Yeah, bonks in plane are very unforgiving.
Yeah, I believe Giz said it loses about 5 seconds per bonk. So you can imagine trying to go very quickly and then having all your momentum eaten by hitting a wall.
That is why Space Dust Alley is the hardest track in the game, because it's so easy to bonk there and it will cost you so much time.
Exactly. So here we are at the what is Frosty Village? Is that the name of this track for Giz?
Yeah, that's Frosty Village.
I just call it like Village Town Snow. But we can see that he goes off this ramp and he's actually pumping back on the stick to be able to fly over that middle section. Hey, I just have my split set up to be Village or something. I don't remember the names. I swear I've played this game at least once.
Yeah, as we brought up in Crescent Island, moving the control stick downwards will make you go fly up like that, and it's definitely the most noticeable in Frosty Village, as you just saw.
Yeah, because if you don't pump back, you'll actually hit the ground and it'll eat your momentum. Because that happens to me a lot before I knew how to do the or knew that that existed for the cart and hovercraft. So here goes Giz into Boulder Canyon, the first race in Dragon's Forest.
The track I mentioned before that is the track that has the most forgiving bonkings, especially like hovercraft is very forgiving with its bonks, but this is definitely the most forgiving one. Oh, he misses the boost. Alright, and Javeliin on Frosty Village. Moving is the last track for him before he moves on to Dragon Force.
So they're about 2 tracks apart at this point. We can really see the different kart types coming into play for these players. You can see that drifting is incredibly important in Diddy Kong Racing. One of the interesting things that kept me from drifting as a kid when I was playing casually is that you'll spin out if you hold the stick in the opposite direction that you're drifting, kind of like in a Mario Kart game if you're trying to get the sparks and doing left and right. You will spin out. So what you'll see a lot of the time, to cancel the spin out timer, you just press the other direction for a little bit or don't touch the stick at all, and then you won't spin out with that timer.
It's something you see a lot in Ancient Lake. And drifting in general is, as you can see, is obviously, used a lot in this track. And if you have amazing drifting, like Giz was showing, then your time will definitely be really good.
Yeah, I believe that drifting is faster if you don't have the zipper speed. I think drifting is just faster than just going forward in the cart as well. Oh, we see Giz actually missed the clip in Wimmo Plains. This is the toughest clip in this particular run. There's a little spot in that mountainside, sort of like a V, and you want to boost and roll and be upside down in the V to go over that part. Very challenging. We can see that here, that even the best miss it sometimes.
It's almost impossible to be consistent at that clip. Let's see if Giz can get it this time.
Oh,
he misses
missing it twice. Wow. I don't know if he'll go for the third lap. He might do it just to be like, look guys, I can do this, but yeah, that's not a PB anymore. Yes. Still. It's just a tough clip. Hopefully we'll get to talk about being out of bounds as well whenever we see it. He might do it this time though. Yep. Being defiant. Oh man.
Well, as I call this track, Windmill Pains.
Yeah.
There you obviously can see why this time around.
It is a pain. Goes Giz with a backflip. 2 backflips. Third? Yeah.
Was he doing that on purpose?
Surely. I don't think you miss 4 barrel rolls in a row when you've been playing it as long as Giz has. That was just a little bit of working out that frustration there.
I can imagine him cussing in Swedish right now.
Yes.
And Giz on Haunted Woods, definitely one of the shortest tracks in the game. And it's pretty easy to be consistent at, and not so punishing, unlike another short track, Treasure Caves.
Yes, we saw that earlier in the Sherbet Island.
Nice drifting by Javeliin, getting on 118.
Yeah, that was a good time there. I saw that they bonked on the second lap before the last zipper, and that happens all the time. It's a very bonk heavy kart race if you're not very tight on the drifting, and sometimes even when you are, you're just gonna bonk.
As we mentioned beforehand, this is Giz on Space Dust Alley. It's the hardest track in the game. If you just look, you could just look at it and see how easy it is to bonk. It's just that
Yeah.
It's just that evil, really.
There's a ship in the middle of this like little courtyard area that's trying to shoot you down. There's asteroids trying to block you. And tiny little openings like that you can just hit that zipper, bonk, and then be down 10 seconds or something ridiculous. But Giz is doing this track very well. Has a lot of practice on it, because I mentioned before, when we do trophy races for PBs, we usually start with Future Funland to avoid the Space Dust Alley catastrophe. Oh!
Oh!
Oh, wow!
Oh.
It bonks on the asteroid, bonks on the finish line. Man. Oh,
That was painful.
it hurts.
And Dark Moon Cavern's another bonk heavy track.
Yes, if you don't want to hit your head. Oh.
Javeliin just bonked.
Oh, man. In Windmill Plains. Oh, if it isn't hard enough. Gets through it, though. You'll notice in the first tunnel in the Dark Moon Caves, if you play casually and you're playing TT, you might hit your head on the ceiling on after the first little zipper area. And all you have to do, apparently, is just hold forward, and you won't bonk your head. So, you can put that in our arsenal to use. Another drift-heavy section there, the left, right, inside that tunnel. Yes, bonk means that you hit a wall, actual Adam, and then it'll bounce you back, and you'll have to build up speed again. Oh wow, there's little mines everywhere for Giz to evade.
Yeah, they can be so brutal sometimes. Like it can be ridiculous. Like
Yeah, one interesting thing you'll see about Diddy Kong Racing is that there are only a few item types. There isn't a map-wide item that stops racers, but there are traps, there's a boost, there's a rocket, there's a magnet, and there's a shield. All with 3 different levels of increasing power as you collect the balloons in a consecutive order of the same color.
The only balloon we actually use in these runs is the blue balloon, as you have noticed.
Yep. And normally the blue balloon with one point of the balloon is just a white, like a whitish yellow flame, but if you don't touch the accelerator and you use the balloon, it will be green and be the fastest it can be. Purple is we might have noticed playing casually as kids is that purple does this crazy like zoom in like camera thing. I'm not sure if it's any faster than green. I think it might slightly be, but it's actually really hard to control.
The only time we ever really use those is in Octo 1 and Annie in 100.
Yeah. Here we see Giz on the last track, Spaceport Alpha. Peegs, do you want to talk about this clip coming up?
Yeah, this clip is Japanese only, and right here, texture and collision is missing. and so it causes us to just go right through it, and it's pretty much simple as that.
Yep, and then you fly around hitting the checkpoints, and then the race is over. So looks like Giz is going to finish this with about a 25-15 around there. So really nice race time. Okay, 25-13. Nice work. We see Javeliin in Dark Moon Caverns. So yeah, it was about a 2 or 2.5, 2 and 1 lap race difference. The kart differences plus the track difficulty scaling up just it really separates players. You'll see that when we start the race on Ancient Lake, it'll be decently close for players, but then it'll spread out due to that difficulty of using different kart and harder track.
Yeah, that definitely separates the difference between top players and definitely and novice players. The ability to be able to play as well on the more difficult tracks. And use plane.
Yes. Plane is a difficult kart type to learn if you want to go really fast. Probably as a kid, you had a lot of difficulties with the hover car and thinking that was the worst, but no, the plane was sitting there saying, I'm both the easiest accessible part and the hardest to use very quickly.
Yeah, the hover in casual play, for many people has been more difficult because most people did not know how to control it very well. But all you have to do is hold the O button pretty much the entire thing, and then your turns will be way more smoother. You will not lose any momentum, and you'll just be faster in general.
Yeah. We see Giz going back in windmill planes to practice a little bit before the next race. So Giz is the first winner. There will be 2. It's a best of 3 since this is such a short category. It's going to be best of 3. If you just came in, we are doing an all trophies race for Diddy Kong Racing. So we're going through and selecting each trophy and then doing those races as quickly as possible. This is the group stage. So there's 4 players per group. This is Group B. And then there's a tier within the group. So Giz and his group is tier 1. And I believe Javeliin is tier 3. So Giz will probably win, but that doesn't mean that Javeliin can't get a PB or improve their times. And it seems to be the case for a lot of runners is they're improving their times, and of course just being in a tournament and having people cheer them on and being exposed to people that can help is awesome.
Yeah, it's always nice having being supported, everyone being supportive, even of the newer players and the more novice ones. It feels really nice.
Right. Diddy Kong, if you're looking to run Diddy Kong Racing, the community is great. They're so welcoming and everybody's helpful, and I'm sure there's a Discord link somewhere somebody in chat has.
Yeah, I would recommend anyone join us any day. Like it's really wonderful being a part of the community.
And Giz, even though he is he has the world records, he's always in people's chat helping them out, supporting them, and everybody else that's just been a racer of this game forever. They're just very supportive and come into your chat. And if you don't stream, you can go on the Discord still and ask questions of how to improve. And there's lots of tutorials and things like that.
Yeah, a lot of the runners just come to your stream and will give you advice and tell you how good you're doing. Like, Giz, he taught me a lot of things about the game before I officially started running, um, and now I'm starting to do really good at the game. I'm starting to get a lot better. So, yeah.
So Javeliin ends with a 30:08. That's pretty good for their PB. That's only 9 seconds more than their posted PB on speedrun.com. So that's very good for Javeliin to only be 8 seconds ahead, because we see Giz is about a minute off his, but that's what happens when Windmill Pains gets a hold of you.
Yeah, Windmill Pains, there is no redemption. Alright, I'll be right back. I have to, you can take the commentary for the, over for a little bit till I get back.
All right. Okay. So we see him starting to reset, taking a little breather between races here. Let me take this time to thank the racers and all the people here. So Giz, wonderful racer. Javeliin, awesome racer. These two racers are great in their own rights. Self-improvement is a big thing in Diddy Kong Racing, since the skill gap is huge. So just improving on your own time is always a good goal in this game. And thank you guys for watching and hanging out, and Feasel for setting this up. Gosh, that guy must work all the time. I just commentated my first time last night, and gosh, guys got to work all the time. So thank you, everybody who sets this up, ready for us to enjoy. Will Giz use Pepsi? I don't know. I think he's confirmed that he will be using Pepsi on at least one of our races in our group. I'm in the group with Giz, and so is, I think, Blue Saints is as well. And so we haven't really decided if we want to do some wacky character choices or not.
Alright, I am back.
Welcome back.
Why, thank you, good sir.
So while you were gone, I just thanked everybody for what they're doing, and thank you, Pigs, for commentating with me.
It's no problem. I'm really enjoying this. Thank you for being here, everyone, and commentating with me too, boy. It's really nice. I would hate to do it alone.
It was a little bit scary while you were gone, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm glad you're back.
Yeah.
All right, so they're setting up for the second race here. So again, it's best of 3. Oh yeah, Dr. Fresh. I actually practiced banjo this morning. I might talk to Giz and be like, "Hey, do you think it's too disrespectful if I play against you using banjo or whatever? Because I'm probably going to lose, and I want to have a little bit of fun." So maybe. I think that's in the cards. Pink Gold Peach. Yeah. Diddy Kong Racing 8. Pink Gold Peach. Yeah. It is 200 people watching Diddy Kong Racing. It's a great game. So thank you all for hanging out this morning. Yeah.
Diddy Kong Racing is superior. The superior racing game.
It's pretty good. I love it. Pretty good. I'm kind of a snowboard kids 2 guy myself, but No, I love Diddy Kong Racing a lot. I think every kart racing game has its own little nuances and things. But Diddy Kong Racing is definitely it really grabs you as a speedrunner because it has those really cool clips, and there's just all sorts of checkpoint glitches. Um,
Yeah,
you can fly in the map just a lot of times doing stuff.
there is actually a checkpoint glitch in Ancient Lake that you can do. It's not out of bounds, but you can trick the game into thinking you're in a different part of the map than you really are. And you're in the how the checkpoints work.
Oh my gosh, that rocket almost hits Giz. Man, that thing was out for blood.
It'd be easier to explain that checkpoint glitch would be easier to explain visually.
Right. There we go, Giz. First track. Javeliin right behind him.
But as we saw before, it will gradually become Giz will gradually get further ahead.
We really start to see the skill gap come into play when the different cart start showing up.
Especially plane.
Yeah.
I hate plane.
I have mixed feelings. Sometimes I do really well, and sometimes I do terrible.
It always feels great when you do well in plane, but I still hate it. Like, screw plane. Screw it. I don't love you, plane.
Oh, we see Giz get a sick bank there off the Fossil Canyon little lake pond thing.
Yeah.
I love doing that.
Yeah, they are really stylish.
Jungle Falls.
Here we go, Jungle Falls, the third track in the Dino Domain trophy. Ooh, we see Giz pick up those bananas on the bridge. That's actually harder than it looks. If you notice, when you play Diddy Kong Racing, the cart is a little squirrely. It feels like all the carts have four-wheel drive because it seems like it turns from the center of the cart. And if you're not drifting, it becomes a little weird, just regular steering sometimes, and you can fall off that bridge pretty easily.
Yeah, and it's hard to see where you're going from the bridge because you can't see the bananas on it until you actually are at the bridge.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. Giz getting the clip nicely. Gonna fly straight through the middle of Hot Top Volcano. So that lava plane down there, it's actually just supposed to knock you back up slightly with when you hit it. But if you go very quickly through it, it will keep you below it. So you can just stay below it and fly through and hit all the checkpoints you need to hit. We see Javeliin opting not to go for the clip.
There is actually another section of the track where you can clip through it, and it's used in time trials for the most part. A lot of the top runners use it because you can get bananas while doing it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot harder than the one Giz used. It's a more safer strat. It's an easier, safer strat.
Here we see the hover car. So if you're a hover car lover out there, hover lover, here's your chance. I love this cart. You can go really fast in the hover car. As I played casually as a kid, I didn't really like it as much. But after you learn how to sway side to side, do this snaking maneuver, it actually becomes really awesome to do, you know, hover car only stuff. So there's a lot of hover car percent runners out there, and it's just fun to. It's just a fun category. Fun
Yeah,
to,
it definitely is. It feels so satisfying to get those really long, amazing boosts.
So there we see it's about a track difference here. So we are seeing that skill gap coming into play here. But the Hot Tub Volcano clip saves a lot of time, and it's actually pretty impressive that Javeliin has a sub 30 time without utilizing any clip. So that's whenever they figure that out, their skill is going to go through the roof.
Yeah, it is very impressive because I have 29, 49, and I use the clip. And I don't know if he actually is not doing it if he wants to be safe, but but if he doesn't, then that is really good on him. Like he is a really underrated runner, I would say.
Yeah, Javeliin is very good. When they learn these clips, they're going to their time is going to drop like crazy. So here we see Giz on Crescent Island. Cool little thing there before the ship that he talked about yesterday. You can pump back on the stick to kind of fly down towards the ship, which is really awesome because you can do that with most. I think, yeah, you can do it with all cards, he said. So of course it's obvious in the plane. You can pull back and you fly up. But if you pump back on the stick with using the hover or the car, you can actually gain a little air when you fly. Or forward. You can press, fly downward.
The best example for Ko is Frosty Village. You'll see how that you'll fly very far. And in hover, you'll see the best example would be Boulder Canyon.
There he goes, finishing Crescent Island. Pretty good run so far here for Giz. Here goes Javeliin, opting to go through the cave for more bananas. And on Giz's, we see the best part track in the game, right, Peaks?
I wouldn't say that. It's a fun track, but I'm starting to understand why Giz does not like this track so much. It's a very unforgiving track.
Yeah. If you hit a boost in the wrong spot, you'll either bonk or go in the water. And both are similarly back-breaking as far as getting a good time. Finishing up nicely, though. And here comes Javeliin, only like maybe a lap or so behind in Crescent Island without the clips. It's pretty nice, but we will see a definite division of skill here because Everfrost Peak is, when you get good at playing, you will go so fast on this course if you don't bonk.
Just looking at Everfrost Peak makes me want to die.
So if you want to practice this course and you don't run the game, but you have TT, the goal here in Everfrost Peak is to only touch A to start at the beginning. And we can see, if you want to explain, Peaks, how the plane works again for people that may not have been here, and you'll understand a little bit more.
Yeah, So barrel rolling is a strat that it makes you go really fast if you don't hold A while doing so.
Walrus Coast.
And that's why you were seeing Giz do that. It's very you gotta know when to not stop doing it so you don't bonk for sure.
Yeah, learning when not to barrel roll and when to barrel roll is a skill as well when flying the plane.
Lap 2.
It looks like this is the part where Javeliin is starting to fall behind because Everfrost Peak sucks.
Yeah. If you're fast using a plane, Everfrost Peak goes by really quick. If you're a novice or not so comfortable with the plane, it takes a little bit longer. I remember struggling with this part that Giz is on right now, that narrow little spot. There's ice on both sides, and how ice reacts to a car is that it just bounces you around until you get back onto the track. You can't really control yourself when you hit a patch of ice. So it's it's bad.
That is that's physically impossible, but I don't understand this game.
The ice is rubber when you're on it. Maybe your wheels are just really bouncy, or they react when they hit pure ice in some weird way.
Maybe the ice is actually rubber, like the trees.
Maybe. Yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense. But you can't run over a tree with the hover car, and you can run over ice. So, but I mean, I guess it's all dependent on the position because the tree is sticking straight up. So here in Frosty Village, we're going to see that cool technique used again, where he pumps back to fly further down this hill. If you don't do that and go straight down the hill, your momentum will just be eaten by that little... There's a little knoll in the middle of the launch that if you hit it, it just takes all your momentum away.
Yeah, it sucks if you lose your momentum like that.
So just in case people weren't here earlier, there's no music because it causes lag, and in such a short category, it's important to cut out as much as you can to go faster, but it's really sad because the music is so good.
Yeah, and if you... It's not just this game, it's in every Nintendo 64 game. You can see it in Mario Kart multiplayer mode, music's off. That's the reason. And Giz just finished the Snowflake trophy and is now moving on to Dragon Force.
Yep, here at Boulder Canyon. A level that I really didn't like when I played as a kid casually, but now is probably my favorite hover car track.
My favorite hover car track would have to be Whale Bay. It just feels really satisfying to me.
Oh yeah, that's a good track. I think all the hover car tracks are great because I'm a hover lover, so...
Yeah, hover is actually pretty good. And hover bonking is very forgiving, and especially in this track, you'll see it like right there, and You can see it in the cave if you are not very careful.
Yeah, I like to hit the left wall of the tunnel so it bounces me to the right to exit that little tunnel. We go. Yep, utilizing that bonk on the wall there to get a nice air. Here he goes. A 114 Boulder Canyon. That's really, really good.
And Greenwood Village, the track that has drifting a lot. It's a great track if you want to practice your drifting. Cause as you can see, those drifts, if you're not careful, you could bonk a lot. Those drifts, very beautiful. And that shield though.
Yeah, I was about to say that shield came in clutch there, eating a puddle and eating a little mine.
Yeah, I always like miss that shield, so I have to like try and go around the puddle in the spike row, and I sometimes like miss that. Alright, Javeliin moving on to Boulder Canyon. See how he does. Let's see how he does on it.
So, mentioned earlier in the chat, I believe I saw someone say that the walls are forgiving, bonking in the hover car is forgiving, but the logs are brutal, and they truly are.
Oh yeah, I have lost some time to the logs.
Yeah, they start spinning, and you're just going on a trip.
I'm like, it's just horrible.
Alright, let's see if Giz can get this clip here. Come on. Oh, he gets it. Okay, good.
Oh, there got it that time.
So, it's a tough clip to get into, and you'll notice that the map is deloading as he's flying around. So, not only is it a hard track to get out of bounds, but it's also incredibly hard to stay out of bounds.
And the mini-map is pretty much like the only way you will ever know where you're going. And that's like with all clips because the map is deloads when you're out of bounds.
Yeah, so you're flying only with a skybox and a dark void below you. And there we go. That was way faster than previous.
The clip definitely made it work. You saw the difference between getting the clip and not getting it. Like, it's a huge difference.
About a minute, I'd say. Somewhere in there. We see Giz in the Haunted Woods. It's too spooky for me, but it seems like he is going through it quite fast. Oh, a bump!
Javeliin on Greenwood Village, and he has having some beautiful, beautiful drifts.
Javeliin's cart work is really nice. Going through there quite fast. Also, one thing we didn't mention about the cart at all is that these players are actually tapping A. Whenever you aren't hitting a zipper and you don't have the flames behind you, you're actually tapping A to go faster. They're not holding it, they're tapping it as, I'd say, as quickly as possible, but again, it's still a tempo thing. Like DKR Patty likes to say, if you tap it as fast as possible, it's basically like holding it.
I would say the tempo would have to be around 350 to 400 beats per minute.
Yeah, it's still decently fast. It'd be really hard for you to mash fast enough for it to seem like it's just going, you know, just pressing it every frame. but that's how the carts work. You see Space Dust Alley with Giz here.
Yeah, Space Dust Alley, the hardest track in the game. It's really hard not to bonk in this track. And looks like Javeliin is on Windmill Pains. And will not go for the clip, as it is definitely the hardest clip in the game.
Yeah, the UFO saw that Giz was having too much fun there and shot him down. So there's lots of obstacles in Space Dust Alley. Look out for. The walls are out to get you, the asteroids are out to get you, and of course that dreaded ship. And there is also some trees too, if you somehow can get bonked by them.
I've done that. I've done that. And I've seen the backflip by Javeliin. And Giz is on Dark Moon Caverns. Definitely another stage track where you bonk like all the time.
Lap 2. Power up.
Javeliin beating Windmill Plains onto the Haunted Woods. So we can see here that they're about maybe 2.5 tracks difference. So that different cart thing coming into play there. Javeliin bonking on that right side. I feel ya. That I do that all the time in Haunted Woods.
Yeah, I do that quite a bit as well, if I'm not too careful.
Nice drift control there from Giz through that little tunnel.
Yeah, that can be really tough sometimes.
We'll see that he's holding right on the loop-de-loops because it just makes you faster for some reason.
Who knows? Don't ask us. No one knows.
Star City.
Have to take a look at the loop code. What's the loop-de-loop code say? And then maybe decipher something out of that.
And Javeliin finishing up Dragon Forest and now moving on to Future Funland. And let's see how he does on Space Dust Alley.
Ooh, that straightforward section there is really tough to do quickly. You'll notice that he had a blue balloon and flew forward, and it looked like he went through the second balloon but didn't get it.
Yeah.
That happens a lot more than I'd like it to.
Yeah, clipping through the balloons, not missing the hitbox or whatever happens, like going too fast for the hitbox to load. Happens a lot in the Future Funland tracks.
Spaceport Alpha.
Giz in Spaceport Alpha, the last track.
And there is a clip in this track, but it's Japanese only. It's coming up shortly. The reason for this clip is because there is no texture and no hit detection right there. So you can just go right through it, and then you can just hit the checkpoints and go on from there.
There it is. Giz finishing with a 24-15. That's really good.
It definitely is. It's about 30 seconds off this PB.
Mm-hmm.
That may sound a lot when it coming to this category, but when it's this optimized, it's quite difficult. And it's very minimal.
30 seconds is approximately 6 plane bonk. That's all it takes for you to bonk on your plane 6 times and you lose 30 seconds. So that is a very good time. Javelin's making his way through Dark Moon Caverns here.
And he gets a boost, but he doesn't take the one around. Ooh, he misses that one.
Yeah. Oh, and bonks down there. That hurts because that happens to me a lot too. This track is very brutal when it comes to slightly being the wrong direction and hitting a wall. It gives you the full bonk effect.
Yeah, it's evil when it comes to just bonking. Once you bonk like forever.
It's true. Oh, see, there's an example of what we were just talking about. If you bonk straight facing something, you're more than likely going to bonk on it again unless it bounces you back.
And Javelin finishes Dark Moon Caverns with a 159. Star City is is definitely the easiest track when it comes to Future Funland. There are sometimes few spike balls that can get you if you aren't careful and if you don't get the shield. And oh, he clipped right through that balloon. That sucks.
Yeah.
That happens. That happens all the time with that balloon. Definitely one of the places a lot of new runners will mess up on is that bridge. You can actually fly off it if you are not careful on your drifting.
Yep, that's happened to me a lot. Having a PB 100% run and then just fly off that bridge. So I've decided to coin it the true 100% run. If you fall off that bridge and you're doing 100% run, it is verified. A true 100%.
Yeah, and you see that Zippo at the end of that tunnel? That is definitely one of the most annoying ones to get.
Yeah, you can barely fly over it and miss it.
It's like, it feels impossible to get. Like, it feels like ONG on getting it. Like, that's pretty much it. That's what it is.
Here we see Javelin on Spaceport Alpha. Still has a chance for PB, probably, if they can get through this track in a minute 37-ish more, then they're gonna PB.
That would be a really good, interesting to see. A lot of people have been PBing for this tourney. Like Sweeno Dog and Kiwi Killer, they both PB'd.
Yeah, and if you missed that race, it happened last night, so go on the Speed Gaming channel, check out what was happening last night. It was really, really close. They were passing each other in tracks, like one person would be leading, then the next track the other person would be leading, and oh man, it's always good to see a tight race like that. And there will be more of that. Looks like Giz is doing some crazy.
Yeah, he's just messing around.
I think Javelin is going to PB here. Come on, Javelin. $29.40. I think that's a PB.
Wow.
Well done, Javelin.
That if that's a PB, then that good. Pops to Javelin. Good job.
Yeah. So one thing that we mentioned before, this is a group stage races, and they'll be going on until the 25th of March, I believe. And in total, how many groups are there? 8. So there's going to be 32 races to take place to enjoy this month. I think there's only been maybe 4 or 5 so far. So yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice races here.
I will be commentating quite a bit. I plan to. I would commentate my own match if I could.
That would be something.
Self-commentary. That would be something.
100% focus plus commentary. That's a pretty good skill.
I would be pretty bad at that, I bet.
Alright guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us during this race. Looks like Giz wins the best of 3, but Jav gets a PB, and that is great for everyone. Jav will be racing another 2 people in the group stage, so they might bop some more people and make it onto the top 16.
Yeah. Congrats to both runners. They both did really well, and thanks to everyone who was here and watched. So yeah.
Thank you, Peter, for commentating with me, and thank you guys for being so nice out there and enjoying this tournament. So I think coming up for DKR, there's a race tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST. Not sure what's happening on this channel directly after this, but yeah, stay tuned for more exciting stuff.
Alright.
See you guys next time.
See you guys. Thanks for watching.